Hello YouTube, I am working on my 1974 CL200 motorcycle, and it is the same engine as a CB200. And I had a problem where there is no fuel going into the right carburetor. I could see it not flowing through the fuel filter, which was clean. And so I'm taking on my first suspect, which is a clogged petcock. I don't know if one of the two fuel outputs from the petcock can get clogged, but not the other one, but it's what I'm trying first. And so all I need to do is drain the tank and unbolt it with a 14mm wrench. So we're taking the petcock all apart, and the reason why we fully disassemble it, not just make it easier to clean, but also we want to get the rubber bits out of the way so that when we blast it with carb cleaner, we don't accidentally melt those soft rubber pieces. Okay, so after I did all that, I put it back on, filled up the tank, switched it on, and went for a ride, and the problem was not solved. Pretty sure this carburetor here is just clogged up, or the float needs to be adjusted, so I gotta take this off. So the first thing I gotta do, take the air cover off, take the side cover off. Gotta be very careful because I don't want to break it. It can be easily broken. Now I'll remove the carb by first unscrewing the throttle cable here, and then using a 10mm socket and wrench to disconnect the intake from the engine. Alright, just to repeat, so that it's clear what I'm doing in this video, the petcock wasn't clogged after all, and so what I'm doing now is I'm taking the carburetor off the bike, and I'm hoping to find like some clogged jets, or a float that isn't working like it's supposed to be, or the thingamajigger that's connected to the float that lets the fuel go in. Maybe that's seized or stuck. Yeah, I'm trying to find something that's wrong with it. Okay, so I can see all the way through the main jet, but I cannot see through this tiny little smaller jet. I think it's called the idle jet or something like that. Secondary jet, maybe, something like that. So I think I'll clean this out with teeny tiny little guitar string or something, and I'll check the level of the float, put it back together, and see if it fixes it. I was looking for any cracks or something in here, but it looks good. The gasket looks good here, so hopefully this is the problem.
what I'm trying to show you here is that you need to pay attention to that little thing to the right of the float bowl. That is the float valve. And right at the point where the float valve stops rising up and the float needle starts compressing into it, that's when it shuts off fuel, and it's exactly that point where you need to measure from. You measure from the edge of the float bowl to the gasket surface of the carburetor, which would be line A in this diagram here. It needs to be 21 millimeters for the CB200 engine.
Okay, so I've adjusted the float, and also this little jet here, it wasn't clogged after all. It just had a drop of fuel still in it, so that's why I couldn't see through it. So as soon as I blew through it, just with a little air, I could see right through it. So this, however, was like hanging too low, if you will. The measurement was like 23 instead of the 21 it's supposed to be. So I've adjusted the little tang here, and now it's the correct adjustment. And my theory is that there was too much fuel in the carburetor bowl, causing it to run too rich, and that meant that the spark plug was getting fouled. Because I took the spark plug off, which I probably should have done a lot sooner in this troubleshooting, and that was pretty oily and black, and it was not what a spark plug is supposed to look like. So I'm gonna clean off the spark plug. I'm gonna put this back on, and I'm gonna go for a test drive, see what happens. Oops. Okay, I just got back from a little test drive all around the neighborhood, and it's clear to me that it is obviously now running, which is the whole point, but it's not as good as it used to be before I've had all these problems. So it's clear to me that I'm not done yet, you know, still just trying to square away the carbs here, and all the jetting and all that black magic going on with the jets and the floats and the needles. And what I might just hopefully have to do is adjust the little air screw here, the idle screw. So that'll do it for today. And I know a couple of you viewers out there will be wondering, what's this car over here? And this is a 1967 Volkswagen Type 3 Squareback. But what you can't see is that it's sitting on the chassis of a 1990 Mazda Miata. So if that interests you, then check out some more of my videos and subscribe. So, alright, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.